Young people all across the UK are leading youth social action to make a positive change in their communities. For a city, a town, a village, a place to really thrive, it needs to understand the things that matter to local people. And it needs to equip and enable young people to shape and lead that local change. As the iwill movement, we know that the power of place is connected to the power of youth. Our experiences and expertise are critical to creating the social change we all need in our lives. And it needs to equip and enable young people to shape and lead that local change. Today, you are going to meet just some of the many young people that drive youth social action, who are creating place-based change in their hometown. Our first stop is the city of Manchester. We are in my home city, Manchester, and this place is really special. So today we're at Manchester Central, which is where a lot of organisations host their annual general meetings. A lot of big decisions are made here and they affect our city. I'm going to be speaking to members of Young Manchester who've launched Manchester as a city of social action.
I think what makes Manchester special, especially within this context, let's start with history. Manchester's history is rich, and I think it really has this, culture of challenge and revolution and uprising. And, there's this desire to yearn for something better.
What's particularly exciting and interesting about the work that you do is the community focus and how it is all place-based. Why do you think it's so important that we improve the area that we're from?
I think because that's the community that raised you. I'm a firm believer in the fact that your parents or your carers raise you, but also your community raises you, and that your community can involve communities online, communities in person, but particularly communities in person where young people you grew up with, the local leaders in your community, they all have contributed, and it's nice to pay it forward. And I'm very fortunate that here at Young Manchester, I can work with young people from a wide range of communities to facilitate local links and encourage place-based social action.
When I was younger, I created with Andy Burnham the Hour Pass. So that also involved loads of other young people, which was really great to see. Kind of the first time that I'd seen a local leader actually take time to work with a young person on an idea and develop it. I was the only young person in the room, and I wanted to challenge that and focus on how we get young people in those spaces. And then that's kind of how the Hour Pass didn't come to be just from that, but there was such a big process and so many great, amazing young people in the city and in the city region involved. So now, 16 to 18-year-olds in Greater Manchester get free travel, which is absolutely amazing.
It's incredible. We've been able to hear such wonderful thoughts from an iwill ambassador and young changemakers across the city. Now we're at the Contact Theatre and we're going to hear some more.
What we do at Creation Foundation is we make socially conscious content. And one of those content is Crisis Talk, which is a podcast that me and Lisa do.
So we debate, dissect and discuss issues affecting, society, but we like to tailor it to our personal experiences, and we're really proud of who we are, where we come from, coming from an African background. So a lot of the content that we do really tries to bring in, talking about experiences as a Black young person, growing up, especially around Manchester. But it was really important to have key stakeholders from Manchester involved in these conversations for them to really understand how it feels and what it's like, and understand the experiences of young people, especially from particular types of backgrounds and margins in life.
We can all be change makers, and it's important that industry leaders, our future bosses, are listening to the up and coming leaders and future bosses and giving us the opportunity to learn and grow together.
We have that emphasis on community, grassroots, but also we have that lived experience and we have such a wide range and diverse range of issues, but also people that we have, and that leads to innovation, I believe.
A lot of big decisions happen here, change happens here, and also people get to voice their opinions here. I think that's what everyone wants to do, right? Have a say in the things that happen around you. Manchester is just one community which is benefiting from young people driving real change, but there are loads more all over the UK.
So I, along with two of my friends, run this small youth voice group called Future Youth Impact. So we're all about providing meaningful and accessible youth voice opportunities for young people. So it's about going into schools, delivering focus groups, and kind of collecting those young people's views and then feeding that back to decision makers. So almost acting as kind of a bridge between the young people themselves and the decision makers. And then Cardiff is also trying to become the UK's first UNICEF accredited child-friendly city. So we've been working on that for quite a few years now. It's been five years and we've got the accreditation coming up. So that's really exciting. And we've been working on that as well. So changes in areas like health, education, everything really. We're just kind of taking a children's rights-based approach to that. That's been, really exciting to work on.
Doing a project management apprenticeship, which is focused on tackling youth unemployment and researching why those things happen. I think what I'm doing is ensuring that the borough sees positive young Black people in a positive light, because a lot of us down here don't really, there are positive Black role models that I've met from Lucian, but the channels aren't there with that and so many other things as well.
Our next stop in this journey is to the town of Ipswich in Suffolk. Young people in schools across the town are embedding social action into their day-to-day lives. We've asked some of them their thoughts on social action.
Not just adults have ideas, and I think young people should be heard too.
I believe it's important for adults to listen to young people's voices because it's a way of including everyone.
Social action means helping people and making everything fair and making everybody happy and welcome. Being a leader to me makes me think that I can make a change for bullying to stop and make it not exist anymore. What we're trying to say can make an impact, so I think it is important that they should hear us out.
Other young leaders are working here every day, volunteering, supporting peers, using the arts, all to make their town and their communities thrive.
So we're doing an online toolkit to give to schools to help inform them about the safety of the area and try and encourage them to learn more about it.
Well, am I right in thinking this was part of some research that you did? Okay, can you talk to me a bit about that?
So it was research for youth crime and violence.
Yes.
And we wanted to try and make people feel safe because this is our home, and we try to make as many people feel safe, and they kind of felt like there wasn't many opportunities for young people. So we're trying to change that and giving them more opportunities to get people off the streets and just giving them a better quality of life.
Ipswich town is special to me in many reasons, as I mentioned. See, I was 15, just turned 16 when I came here. It was hard, I came to Ipswich first time, so I didn't have any friend, I didn't know nobody, I didn't speak English, and Suffolk Refugee Support, they helped me a lot, and I'm now able to speak English. So I can support other people where they go to they want to do GCSE. I support them with maths, physics, chemistry. That's what I studied in Ipswich School. I support others because I can see on myself. When I came here, I didn't speak English. I couldn't have a good conversation with people. But now, I have got a lot of friends. Wherever I go, they just say hi, which is feels really nice now.
We try to make it a team, like community team, like local team.
It's like refugees organization.
They help the young people to progress, to find a good way, to help them how to speak the language, But like me, when I came here the first time, I don't know anything about English. From different countries, everyone's speak another different language, But we are here now like family, Find all of this in Ipswich.
Now, through the Ipswich Social Mobility Alliance, local organisations are working together to become a town of social action, creating the conditions for youth social action to drive equality across Ipswich.
I think what prevents young people getting involved in social action, especially in more deprived areas, is just a lack of support. And I mean that in both a sort of actual, in a literal sense of you actually need support from someone else to help you do these things, but also in the kind of financial aspect as well. I don't know how young people who don't have, whose families don't have disposable income are expected to do this kind of thing without that kind of support.
Is that a whole thing of children are seen and not heard?
A lack of awareness, because it's not that the young people don't care, it's just they don't feel like they've been given the opportunities to get involved in projects sometimes. Like, they're just maybe not given the resources to do it.
I think one of the biggest things is not knowing what's going on and not knowing where to go. It can almost be too much choice, and they're not sure which one's right for them. And I think sometimes it's a case of being scared to go along because there's a lot of established people within a group and they don't know if they're going to fit in. And I think it's not that the groups are closed off, it's that people are nervous about mixing with new people, especially after COVID and having not been given the opportunity to be involved in things. They're maybe a bit scared as they're going through things and not having been involved in it before.
A lot of the time there's a hierarchical issue, and speaking more from like a personal experience, as well as people that I've spoken to, young people that I've spoken to, sometimes they don't feel empowered enough to be able to have those conversations with key stakeholders. Unless you know someone that can put you into contact with that person, they don't want to take that risk in being able to reach out directly and be like, no, actually, can we sit down, can we have a conversation about these issues?
It's important that all stakeholders get involved, because not only do local community organisations need funding, they also need some help, assistance. They also need training in terms of retaining volunteers, in terms of building programmes, because in these community organisations, the will is there, but capacity may not be there. And I believe that stakeholders and organisations like Young Manchester so far have done a really great job of working with local communities to upskill, to improve, to build capacity within these areas to actually be able to deliver programmes using grants like the City of Social Action grants to achieve youth social action projects and empower the young people in those communities.
I'm always saying we need no decision about young people to be made without us. I think you look at other industries, and when we're looking at coming out of COVID, you're forever hearing from like healthcare professionals, because they're the experts of health and the way our medical world lies. So why aren't we listening to young people who are the experts of growing up in this digital by default era? So I think it's integral that actually the industry leaders aren't just listening to our voice to kind of hit that diversity checkbox, but rather they're looking at that equity and inclusion element of the DE&I kind of phrase, and making sure that young people are included entirely in the decision-making process.
Work with young people, share that power, and don't do it for them, do it with them always.
It's important for grown-ups to listen to us, because we have a newer, fresher mindset and view of certain things. Young people are the best at knowing what young people want and what struggles we face and how we can solve those.
Just try, find those funded charities that are open and willing to do it, and then it's really building it up from yourself and being persistent, because the more you pester them, the more they'll be like, okay, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And let's just see where it goes.
You're not always going to get the best response. You're not always going to get people being like, yes, well done, super agree with you. But the point is that you're going out and doing it regardless, and you're using your voice. I always say my voice is my weapon. And that is something that I will always use, and it's my power, and I will always speak up for myself and for other people as well, because it doesn't come as easy to everyone to just be able to go out there and challenge local leaders, and that is perfectly fine. You don't have to go out tomorrow and change the world. It's a process, it's a journey, it's starting that journey and being on it that is the powerful thing. So
I would just say put yourself out there, because the worst thing that's going to ever happen is you get told no, and if that happens, just keep going at it, because eventually someone will say yes.
Find people to work with, to network with, and to build with. That's the thing as well, because I think being in certain spaces and being of a certain background, some spaces might not have been made for you, but you have to really take up space there.
Do it. I know it sounds so easy, like, oh, just do it, and there is a big journey around it, but just not being scared and afraid to reach out and see what connections you can gain from people, especially like within the city. Look at what provision's already there. Is there somebody already doing what you want to change? And if there is, piggyback onto that, ask if you can get involved. If you want to do it yourself, have those conversations and see what you can gain from it. And I think the biggest thing is not being afraid to always like voice how you feel. And everyone always says silence isn't an option, and if you want to get stuff done and if you want to get stuff changed, then it's never the option. And never be afraid to speak up, because it does no harm.
If you have a feeling that you want to be a part of something or want to start something, take that risk and go for it.
I just say to people, like, you've got that power within you. Like everything that iwill stands for, like the power of youth, is so true. Like the youth have power, and like you can use that within you to like speak up, to be able to talk about things, to be able to say, oh, I don't like this, let me change this. I don't like this, let me, work with this person. I don't like this, let me, post or something. And I feel like we're in that, our generation right now, I think we are not accepting the things of the past that we didn't like. We want to make safe spaces. We want to have safe homes.
Rewrite our own narrative.
Exactly, and then make it great for our children.
And I just want to like be able to tell young people that local leaders, you can like challenge them. That's what they're there to like have done. Like they're in a position where they're supposed to be representing you, so make sure that they're authentically doing that. Hold them accountable and make sure that you feel represented. And if you don't, tell them.
Because if everybody in one town did it, everybody in another, and that kept on going, that means the whole world would be a brighter future.
We've been able to hear from young change makers working to make change in their hometowns. We've learned that social action isn't just a nice thing to do. It transforms lives. It saves lives. Age shouldn't be a barrier. Location shouldn't be a barrier into taking part in youth social action. To build a movement, we need to do it from the ground up. We can do this if we do it together.